Morning people, welcome back to F Politics. The audacity of the rich needs to be studied. Like, yes, I know we've got studies already, but we need more studies because what do you mean you don't think rich people should go to jail? Because that's effectively the solution that ex-High-Court Judge Nicholas Mostyn just suggested on Sky News.
There is a system for where corporate defendants who are facing bribery and corruption trials, that they have deferred prosecution agreements, which is like a sort of terrifying yellow card. You pay a lot of money to avoid a trial, and if you do the same thing again, you will face the music. He didn't actually recommend that for serious offences. I think that where people are charged with serious offences, that an opportunity of that should be made available.
Based on how you just framed that sounds like rich people will be able to avoid jail time, but poor people won't.
Well, I mean, rich people can afford good lawyers and poor people can't. I mean, it has always been one law for the rich and one law for the poor, but it's not at the moment.
I mean, gosh, that's terrifying that you, as a former High Court judge, framed that the current system is that. But this would surely sort of embed that more clearly in the actual sentencing rules rather than just purely based on access to lawyers.
Now, well played to Wilfred Frost for calling that out and pushing back on it. You know I have no love for Sky News as an organisation, but I have to be fair.
We already have deferred prosecution agreements for bribery and corruption cases with corporate defendants.
And that is a bad thing, because bribery and corruption are white-collar crimes, crimes committed mainly by rich people. People who don't have the excuse of, well, I had to steal that loaf of bread because I'm poor and starving. And they often involve much larger sums of money, so the damage they do is much higher than your average blue-collar crime. And when you add in all the other social inequalities that lead to certain types of people being more likely to be poor, like being born into poverty, being from an ethnic minority background, being a woman, having a medical condition, all factors that mean that if somebody does turn to crime, it's more likely to be a blue-collar crime than a white-collar crime. The system you're describing isn't just classist, it's sexist, it's racist, it's ableist. But carry on, tell me how you plan to make it worse.
I think that they should be extended in all cases, because, as I say, all these measures are necessary to address this absolute crisis.
And look, I get the point you're making, that we have to do something to do with the massive crisis we have of massive court backlogs and full prisons. But given that we know that part of the reason that more people are committing crimes is because of the cost of living crisis, and that the cost of living crisis in the UK is as bad as it is because the UK is one of the most financially unequal countries in the economically advanced world, a key way to solve that problem is by rebalancing society away from the rich, not letting them get away with even more crimes. So having the audacity to say this on national TV with millions of people in desperate poverty, I just can't get my head around it. But it reminds me of what Jaden said the difference was between the UK and America.
In America, it seems as if classism is more subtle while racism is more presenting, while in Britain and the UK, the racism is more subtle and the classism is more presenting.
There is no subtlety to the classism in the UK. It's literally a High Court judge saying on national TV that the solution to our justice system is for rich criminals to avoid going to jail. I'm Femi. Make sure you follow F Politics so Politics doesn't F you. Have a great week.